Well, hello, me dearie-os. Well, tonight I shall have great pleasure, but first of all, I'd like to sing you a few songs. So loosen your gussets, straddle your thrums, let your bossocks down, and away we go. Now, first, here's something I picked up down under, and 'tis an Australian outlaws song, and tells of a squatter in the outback, camping by a billabong. And the billabong reports him to the police. And up come the troopers, and they catch him having a jumbuck in his tucker bag. Well, that's better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. So anyway, as they bind his polyps and carry him off, he sings this haunting lament. Once long ago, in the shade of a goolie bush, toasting his splod by the faggot's gleam, rested a gander man a-nobbling at his woggling iron, and stuffing a sheep in the old mill stream. Then up come the troopers and hung him by the billabong. They twisted his woggle irons, 1, 2, and 3. Now his ghost sits and moans as it grunges in his gander can. Old come a woggling his jumbuck with me. Now I should like to burst forth, thank you very much. There's one friend there anyway. Now I should like to burst forth with a traditional Lincolnshire air. 'Tis the song of the Bogle Clencher, and goes after this fashion. When I was a clencher's bogle man in famous Lincoln town, I often clenched my bogling fork for less than half a crown. And I would joggle and nurk my boys, as I shall quickly tell. Oh, 'tis my delight on a shining night, and a foggy night as well. Oh, once I took my moolies and set them in a snare. 'Twas then I spied a scroper's man wordling a hare. But I was not afeard, my boys, of that there is no doubt. Oh, 'tis my delight on a shining night when the coppers aren't about. Although I'm over 80 now, my boggles still I clench, and I will flutter my artifacts at any passing wench. I've tickled many a screebling nut as on my way I go. Oh, 'tis my delight on a shining night at 1 and 9 a throw. Thank you very much. Well, I've been dipping in my old gander bag, and I've come up with a very tender and furtive madrigal, which has been passed down from father to son until the handle dropped off. It is an old Sussex courting song and tells the story of a young swain who stands beneath his loved one's bearer. He's a very, very small swain, but then she's got a very low barrel. It's the prevailing winds, you see. Anyway, he stands there in the full moonlight, a-plighting his troth. It's best to plight it where you can see it. Otherwise, you're liable to make a dog's breakfast of the old rigmarole. So there he is, plighting his troth. The troth, by the way, is a small furry creature with fins. It's a cross between a trout and a sloth or sloth, and it's a curious match. I often wonder what they saw in each other in the first place. Though I suppose the sloth hanging upside down tends to have a different slant on things. Anyway, nowadays, people do say that they're extinct, but I believe they're hanging about somewhere, and that they'll come round when they're hungry. So anyway, this lover is under this tree, singing to his light a love, and he tells her of his desires as follows. Will you still love me, Mary, oh, when my grossets be bended low? When my orbs grow dim and my pubes grow white, and my cord wangle makes an ugly sight, and my grossets be bended low, my grossets be bended low. And she sings back to him. You ask me if I'll love you, oh, though your grossets be bended low, though your orbs be dim and your pubes be white, and your cord wangle makes an ugly sight. If I feel the way I do tonight, my answer will still be no. I'll hey Mary down, crumple diddle I do, and other colourful affectations. I'm going to sing in there another courting song, this time from Ireland. 'Tis a lament sung by the itinerant pedlars of they parts as they lurk in the peat bogs, tinkering with their grummets. So this young tinker sings to his fair colleen, if you will give me all your love, then I shall give thee jewels and perfumes and a ribbon for your hair and an old pair of boots what belong to my granny. I'll need resoling, but they'll do you a treat for getting in the coal. All these things shall I give thee, he sings, if you will give your love to me. And then she sings, well, where are they then? To which he replies in song, well, I haven't got them with me, but can I have a little bit on account? And she then sings, Tura Lura Musha Musha Wara Wara, which freely translated means sling your hook, O peddler man, or else I call my husband out. And so he goes, but as he goes, he sings this song. Sing Tura for the tinkers lie from Cork to Old Tralee, oh, for I will give thee pots and pans if you come a-tinkering with me. Me, oh, if you come a-tinkering with me. With a tumble-down tick and a rooney o'day, sing tross up a faldy-roll dough. I'll treadle my crumple for many a day, if I don't get a stitch in me side, oh, I don't get a stitch in me side, oh. And thank you very much indeed. Very nice of you. Our next song takes us to Scotland, and 'tis a ballad of the Royal Scottish Pretender, Bonnie Prince Charlie McWhirter. An old Scotch tramp known as the Pretender because he pretended to be Queen Frederica in order to get free orange juice. You can't drink metal polish straight, you know. Anyway, we fell to chatting by the wayside, and over a rude meal of hedgehog pâté washed down with a simple, unpretentious bottle of paraffin rosé, he sung me it. It tells the story of a simple Highland lass who one day espies a man in a kilt sitting up an oak tree. "Hello?" quoth she to herself. "'Tis Bonnie Prince Charlie," while she could tell it wasn't Mary Queen of Scots. That's a different tartan. So anyway, she takes him in and hides him and gives him sustenance for 3 months. But lack-a-day, there's a sorry end to this tale that will wring your withers. It turns out that he ain't Bonnie Prince Charlie after all, but a cabinet maker from Huddersfield called Alf Postlethwaite. How tragic. And to this very day, almost 6 months later, the islanders still sing the Postlethwaite Lament, which goes after this fashion. Ye nergs and bogles of bonny Glen Postule, oft have I greebled amongst your trees, and wordled my lassie among your nettles, sworn my devotion and stung both my knees. We bogled and grundled and grundled and bogled, I grotted my muckles for bonny wee Joan. But now she's run off with a plumber from Sidcup, so I lurk in the forest and wordle alone. Now, in a more light-hearted vein, a pewter woggler's bangling song. After our day in the grunge foundry hammering their artifacts, the jolly grunge men repair to the local hostelry or fumble shop and charge their thunderjugs with the foaming nut brown myths. And then they link nadgers and let forth this stirring refrain as follows. Come fellows, raise your fumble jugs until your cringe is plunging. Come raise aloft your nut brown grot, for soon we'll all be munging. For tonight I'll drain the posset dry, every man shall do the same as I. If he don't, I'll wordle in his eye. Tomorrow we'll be grunging. Now, me dearios, I have dipped into my gander bag on many happy occasions, but none more so than tonight, when I have come up with what is undoubtedly the most uninteresting song in my whole niggardly repertoire. 'Tis the Runcorn Splod Cobbler's song, and goes after this lugubrious fashion. I sing as I cobble and hammer my splod, though my travis grows hot and my trade be odd. I sit as I gorble and pillock my splee, for a cobbler's life is the life for me. Sing lickety-lackety, splod me boy, sing whackety-whackety, ooh! Ah! At that point, alas, he misses his splod and impales himself on his own cord wangle, as a result of which he dies. Lack-a-day, lack-a-day. And they do say as how his ghost walks abroad in a minor key as follows. Now his ghost still sits and cobbles his blood, though his tramis grows cold and he's on his tod. He sings as he gorbles his ghostly splee, oh, a cobbler's life was the death of me. Sing lickety-lackety, splod me boy, sing whackety-whackety, splod. Now here now is an 18th century ditty that first appeared in 1738 on a... That's right. On a broadsheet. And it's called the Ballad of the Woggler's Mooly. Joe, he was a young cordwangler, monging greebles did he go, and he loved a bogler's daughter by the name of Chiswick Flo. Vain she was and like a grosset, though her gander parts were fine. But she sneered at his cordwangle as it hung upon the line. So he stole a woggler's mooly for to make a wedding ring. But the Bow Street runners caught him, and the judge said, "You will swing." Oh, they hung him by the postern, nailed... Oh, they hung him by the postern, nailed his mooly to the fence, for to warn all young cordwanglers that it was a grave offence. There's a moral to this story, though your cordwangle be poor, keep your hands off others' moolies, for it is against the law. Now hoist up your artifacts and keel haul your dandos. Well, we can always edit it out of the recording. Because it's time now for a medley of rollicking sea shanties. So nurk your throbbers. And away we go. What shall we do with the drunken nurker? What shall we do with the drunken nurker? What shall we do with the drunken nurker? He's bending his cordwangle. Hit him in the nadgers with a bosun's plunger. Slap him on the grommet with a wrought iron lunger. Cuff him in the moolies with a captain's plunger, till his bogles dangle. Heave-ho, and up she rises, heave-ho, and up she rises, heave-ho, and up she rises. Oh, He's broken his cord wangle. 'Twas on the good ship Habakkuk, and I a midshipmite, when 4 days out of Liverpool a mermaid did I sight, singing fare ye well my Betty-o, fare ye well I say, fare ye well my pretty young maid, my fattocks be bound away. And then the mermaid sings back to him in wheedling tones, come marry me my pretty lad, and live beneath the billow. A coral reef shall be our bed, an octopus our pillow. Singing fare thee well my Mary-o, fare thee well to you. Fare thee well my pretty young lass, my fattocks be rusted through. And seduced by the siren's voice and the fact that he can only see the top half of her sticking up out the waves, the foolish sailor lad leaps over the side and drowns. And as he goes down for the 3rd time, he sings, fare thee well my Sally-o, fare thee well sweetheart, I am no use to you my love, my fattocks have come apart. Oh. Now, here is a fable song from fabled Clacton. It is, you're from Clacton, are you? Well, you know it then. It's the, yes? I'm glad to see you're familiar with these old folk songs. It is the Clacton Bogle Picker's Lament, sung by the itinerant lummock mongers of they parts, who hang about the foreshore picking their bogles and munging them at passers-by, which is one of the reasons that people are going abroad more than ever before. When I was 21, boys, my swogle did I plight, and then as the lummock I did scrope beneath the pale moonlight. Sing all away me posset meg, there's limpets on me dando. Now I am old and sere, my boys, my swoggle's silvered o'er. I cannot scrope me lummocks, and my heart it is full sore. Sing all away me posset meg, there's barnacles on me dando. Now all you jolly sailor men who listen to my song, come plight your swogles while ye may, they don't stay fresh for long. Sing hurry up with that posset meg, there's an octopus up me dando. And now a change of mood as I let forth with a Lummockshire air sung by the spume tiddlers of they parts as they sit in the chimney corner groping their taddles. When I was a young man, I nadgered at my snod as I nurked at the waggler's trade. When suddenly I thought, while trussing up my groats, I'd wordle with a fair young maid. We wordled through the summertime until the winter came. And the only thing that I ever did wrong was to tell her my fongy name. Now I'm married and I've put away my snod, and my son's at the waggler's trade. Though I still think, as I'm trussing up my groats of wordling with a fair young maid, I'd wordle her in the winter time, I'd wordle her for dear life. But the only thing that I'd have to do is to keep it from the foggy, foggy wife. To keep it from the foggy, foggy wife. Now, my dearios, I'll tether my nudgers to a grouting pole, for the old grey mare is grunging in the meadow. While better there than here, while it makes so much work for the char. My next ditty is about a fabled horse, the Somerset Nog, so called because crossed between a nag and a dog. It's half Suffolk Punch and half Dachshund, while it gets very foggy on the moors. Anyway, this nog is a strange-looking creature, 3 hands high and 18 foot long. They're not pretty to look at, but they're rhubarb in that part of the world. It really is magnificent. And my song tells of a man who wants to go to the great fair at Ganderpoke Bog. So he asks this farmer for a loan of the nog so he can take all his friends with him, and it proceeds in this fashion. Reg pubes, lend me your great nog. Rollock me facet and griddle my nose, for I want for to go to Ganderpoke Bog, with Len Posset, Tim Screevy, the Reverend Phipps, Peg Leg Loom, Packet, Solly Levi, Ginger Epstein, Abel Seaman Truefit, Scotch Lil, Messrs. Catamole, Mouse Abbott, and Neep Thigh, and Trustpot, solicitors and commissioners for oaths, Father Thundergas, Fat Alice, Con Mahoney, Yeti Rosenkrantz, Futu, Robinson, and Uncle Ted Willis, and old Uncle Ted Willis, and all. So they all get on, except Fat Alice, who don't get on with no one. And off they go. But sad to relate, the horse snaps in two and expires. Now, they do say as ere its ghost walks abroad in 2 halves. And if you be passing Ganderpoke Bog at midnight, they do say you can hear the 2 ghostly halves of the nog singing in duet. Reg pubes, you lent your great nog, rollock me facet and griddle me nose, and now my remains are in Ganderpoke Bog, with Lem Posset, Tim Screevy, Reverend Phipps, Peg Leg Loom, Bucket, Solly Levi, Ginger Epstein, Abel Seaman Truefit, Scotch Lil, Mrs. Catamole, Mouse Habit, Neep Thigh, and Trustpot, solicitors and commissioners for oaths, Father Thundergas, Fat Alice, Con Mahoney, Yeti Rosenkrantz, Pooter Robinson, and Uncle Ted Willis, and all, and Uncle Ted Willis, and all. Now, a sad, plaintive air of woe, lack-a-day, and rue. They're my song publishers. Oh, they are. Murray, woe, Jaime, lack-a-day, and Solly, rue. Deng me down a Charing Cross Roado. It tells the story of a country lass who sings to her soldier sweetheart, "Oh, soldier, soldier, when shall we be wed? For I'm tired of the single life, and besides the neighbours are starting to talk. And I can't keep telling them you've come to read the gas meter." And he answers, Oh, winsome maid, oh, pretty maid, fain would I make thee my wife, oh, but we cannot be wed, for I have no boots to put on. So she goes and buys him a pair of fine boots, and then she sings, oh, soldier, soldier, when shall we be wed? And he sings, fain would I make thee my wife, oh, but I have no trousers to put on. So she gets him a very fine pair of trousers, and then she sings, soldier, soldier, when shall we be wed? And he sings, hang on a minute, I can't get these fine trousers over my boots. And anyways, I cannot marry thee as I have no belt. So she gives him one. And he goes, and as he runs off, he sings this stirring martial strain. Fare thee well, my apple-cheeked Betty, oh, fare thee well, for I'm off to fight my country's foes. So dry your eyes and wipe your nose. Nose, oh, nose, oh. For Billy has gone to the wars, oh. A rub-a-dub-dub for the sabres clash, with a musket fife and a drum-a-diddle-idle. With my billycock hat and my billycock head, for I'm off to be a dragoon. Well, once again, the mood changes as I sing you an eerie song so spine-chilling that it'll make the bogles on your posset stand on end. It is the story of a bold highwayman called the Black Grunger of Hounslow and his exploits. Oh, list while I sing of a highwayman bold, his feats were remarkable, so we are told. He'd wordle the ladies and scrope all the men, then he'd straddle his nadger and ride off again. Singing fiddle me grommets and scrumple me flute. They caught him and hung him from old Tyburn tree, but ere the node screevelled his Gurkha, quoth he, if I had my time to live over again, I'd scrope all the ladies and wordle the men. Singing fiddle me grommets and scrumple me flute. However, they strung him and his horse up, and they do say as how his ghost rides abroad, even to this day, haunting the place where he once straddled his nadger so gaily. Only, unfortunately, they built a supermarket on the site, and on early closing day, his wraith can be seen galloping along the bacon counter. And manifesting itself behind the crystallized fruits. And as he gallops, he sings, my tale it is ended, my song it is sung, as me and my horse we have both been well hung. And as I'm a phantom, my only recourse is to scrope by myself and to wordle my horse. Singing fiddle me grommets and scrumple me flute. Now, to conclude my recital, an air for which I shall need your help, so if you'll join me, we shall all burst forth together. So grundle your parts, your own parts, not anybody else's. There we are, and away we go. I'll sing you one, oh, green grow my nadgers, oh.
What is your one, oh?
One's the grunge upon my splod, mask in my cord wangle. I'll sing you two, oh, green grow my nadgers, oh.
What is your two, oh?
Two are me lumin thrums, see how they jangle. One's the grunge upon my splod, mask in my cord wangle. I'll sing you three, oh, green grow my nadgers, oh.
What is your three, oh?
Three are the times I've lunged my groats. Two are me lumin thrums, see how they jangle. One's the grunge upon my splod, mask in my cord wangle. I'll sing you four, oh, green grow my nadgers, oh.
What is your four, oh?
Fourth my wordle is bent, oh. Three are the times I've lunged my groats. Two are me lumin thrums, see how they jangle. One's the grunge upon my splod, mask in my cord wangle. I'll sing you five, oh, green grow my nadgers, oh.
What is your five, oh?
Five of the wordless up my spon, four for my wordless bent, oh. Three of the times I've lunged my groats. Two are me lumin thrums, see how they jangle. Once the grunge upon my splod, it ruined my cord wangle. Now hoist up your artifacts and keel haul your dandos. Or we can always edit it out of the recording. Because it's time now for a rollicking sea shanty. So nurk your throbbers. And away we go. What shall we do with a drunken nurker? What shall we do with a drunken nurker? What shall we do with a drunken nurker? He's bending his cord wangle. Hit him in the nadgers with a bosun's plunger. Slap him on the grommet with a wrought iron lunger. Cuff him in the moolies with a captain's plunger. Till his bogles dangle. Heave-ho, and up she rises, heave-ho, and up she rises, heave-ho, and up she rises. Oh! He's broken his cord wangle.
Don't put your daughter on the stage, Mrs. Worthington. Don't put your daughter on the stage. The profession is overcrowded and the struggle's pretty tough. And admitting the fact she's burning to act, it's really not enough. She has nice hands to give the wretched girl her due, but don't you think her bust is too developed for her age? I repeat, Mrs. Worthington, sweet Mrs. Worthington, don't put your daughter on the stage. Regarding yours, dear Mrs. Worthington, of Wednesday the 23rd, although your baby may be keen on a stage career, how can I make it clear that this is not a good idea? For her to hope, dear Mrs. Worthington, is on the face of it absurd. Her personality is not in reality inviting enough, exciting enough for this particular sphere. Don't put your daughter on the stage, Mrs. Worthington. Don't put your daughter on the stage. She's a bit of an ugly duckling, you must honestly confess, and the width of her seat would surely defeat her chances of success. She's a loud voice, and though it's not exactly flat, she'll need a little more than that to earn a living wage. On my knees, Mrs. Worthington, please, Mrs. Worthington, don't put your daughter on the stage. Don't put your daughter on the stage, Mrs. Worthington. Don't don't put your daughter on the stage. Though they said at the School of Acting she was lovely as Peer Gynt, I'm afraid on the whole an ingenue role would emphasize her squint. She's a big girl, and though her teeth are fairly good, she's not the type I ever would be eager to engage. No more buts, Mrs. Worthington, nuts, Mrs. Worthington. Don't put your daughter on the stage, or your son. Don't put your daughter on the stage.
The facts of life, why do they have to be hidden? If I want to discuss the facts of life, why is it always forbidden? Why are they shrouded in secrecy? They're just as simple as ABC. I have more trouble with geography than I do with the facts of life. So kindly don't inform me, please, about those boring birds and bees. It's nothing new to me, and not taboo to me. And don't go shush and shake your head if I should use a word like bed. It's not a mystery, it's ancient history. And frankly, ancient history, or geometry, or poetry, or chemistry, or botany are twice as difficult for me as the simple facts of life. Why am I upset? I'm a fool to fret just because she's left me all alone. How could I pretend she would be my friend? I might have known. She's just another girl, just like all the rest, full of idle chatter and overdressed. Just a new recruit to the female clan and a public danger to any man. I should be glad I'm through with her. I should be glad I'm free. Why was I on to new with her? She's no good to me. She's just another girl, just a waste of time, born to worry and annoy. And she's got a nerve to think that I'm just another boy.
In tropical climes there are certain times of day when all the citizens retire to tear their clothes off and perspire. It's one of those rules the greatest fools obey, because the sun is much too sultry and one must avoid its ultraviolet ray. Bubble like a bubble like a bubble like a boo, bubble like a bubble like a bubble like a boo, dig-a-ragga, dig-a-ragga, dig-a-ragga do. The natives grieve when the white men leave their huts, because they're obviously, definitely nuts. Mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. The Japanese don't care to, the Chinese wouldn't dare to. Hindus and Argentines sleep firmly from 12 to 1, but Englishmen detest a siesta. In the Philippines there are lovely screens to protect you from the glare. In the Malay states there are hats like plates that the Britishers won't wear. At 12 noon the natives swoon and no further work is done, but mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. It's such a surprise for the Eastern eyes to see that though the English are effete, they're quite impervious to heat. When the white man rides, every native hides in glee, because the simple creatures hope he will impale his solar topi on a tree. Bola 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 ba, bola 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 ba. Henny bitty ha. It seems a shame when the English claim the earth that they give rise to such hilarity and mirth. Mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. The toughest Burmese bandit can never understand it. In Rangoon, the heat of noon is just what the natives shun. They put their scotch or rye down and lie down. In a jungle town where the sun beats down to the rage of man or beast, the English garb of the English Saab merely gets a bit more creased. At Bangkok at 12 o'clock they foam at the mouth and run, but mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. Mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. The smallest Malay rabbit deplores this foolish habit. In Hong Kong they strike a gong and fire off a noonday gun to reprimand each inmate who's in late. In the mangrove swamps where the python romps, there is peace from 12 to 2. Even caribous lie around and snooze, for there's nothing else to do. In Bengal, to move it all, is seldom if ever done. But mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday, 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 out in the midday sun.
I feel as though a big black cloud had come over the sun.
Yes, and yet it's such a lovely afternoon.
Ironical, isn't it?
The sun is shining brightly, but we don't feel so hot.
The birds are looking sprightly, but we, alas, are not.
The weather's simply wizard.
It almost might be June, but if it blew a blizzard, we'd be more in tune.
Spring. I'm absolutely fed up with it.
Oh, why, Montgomery?
Oh, I don't mind it in itself. It's what it does to people that I object to.
How do you mean?
Well, Mother, for instance, I told you, she always gets restless about this time of the year. If it had been winter, we could have managed her, but it isn't. It's spring. And that's the very reason that all our plans are wrecked. This is the silly season, so what can you expect? My mother's got it badly, she always does, poor dear, and that is why I'd gladly change the time of year. Why did it have to be spring? Why did it have to be spring? Why did there have to be daffodils out? Why did there have to be blossom about when winter winds are blowing? Life is much less of a strain, but when the sap starts flowing, nobody seems to be sane. Oh, why did it have to be spring? Spring is a terrible thing. Soon as the trees and the flowers are in bud, plain common sense passes out with a thud. When it's wetter, things get better, people stop having a fling. So why, oh why, oh why did it have to be spring?
Why did it have to be spring? Why did it have to be spring? Why did the crocuses have to be new? Look what the sight of a crocus can do. When autumn leaves are falling, life settles down for a spell.
But when the cuckoo's calling, people go cuckoo as well.
Oh, why did it have to be spring?
Spring is a terrible thing.
Once they clap eyes on a lamb in a flock,
Sensible humans start running amok.
Now's the time at which the climate suddenly seems to go zing. So why, oh why, oh why did it have to be spring?
Read all about it. Read all about it. Read all about it in the Barman here.
This week we start a most exciting series, all about how boys at Eton really live.
And we also have the answer to some queries that your parents never seem to want to give.
For the girl who's shortly going to be a woman, there's an article that's very apropos.
Then our leader asks, are masters really human?
And the answer you'll be glad to hear is no. The Buccaneer is the paper that's right by need. The Buccaneer is the paper for the children that the grown-ups ought to read all about it. Read all about it. Read all about it. Copy here. Read all about it. Read all about it. Read all about it. The Buccaneer. There are helpful hints on how to make your teacher disappear from off the staff without a trace. And we also have an illustrated feature on how to keep your parents in their place.
A famous politician's little daughters write the brutal truth about their dad's career.
And the children of the film star tell reporters what it's like to change your father every year. The Buccaneer is the paper that supplies prime need. The Buccaneer is the paper for the children that the grown-ups ought to read all about it. Read all about it. Read all about it. Copy here. Read all about it. Read all about it. Read all about it in the Buccaneer.
you'll notice on this most arresting jacket, there's a story that is really very sad.
An exposure of the Father Christmas racket, and how tiny tots like us are being had.
There's a column by a much-respected pillar of the Sunday school about adoption laws.
And a red-hot interview with Mandy Miller,
who tells the facts about Diana Dawes.
The Buccaneer is the paper that supplies crime needs. The Buccaneer is the paper for the children that the grown-ups ought to read all about it. Read all about it. Read all about it. Get a copy here. Read all about it. Read all about it. Read all about it. The
Our seniors often tell us that being old is great, and grown-ups do so many things we can't. I suppose we should be jealous of their exalted state, but after careful thought we find we aren't. In fact, we gladly own up that we're devoid of any longing to be grown up. I'm not craving to start off shaving every morning at 8. That's for adults only, and I can wait.
grown-up women insist on slimming till they're thin as a rake. That's for adults only, and I like cake.
When we hear about the joys of being aged, we are grateful that we're otherwise engaged. We're not yearning to start off churning up our egos and its. That's for adults only, thank God we're kids. Though we're no fans of Barry, he had the right ideas.
And though we think that Peter Pan's a drip,
we'd both much rather tarry in childhood's tender years and try to give old Father Time the slip. We stand by what we've stated. The thrill of being old is very overrated. Sex and so on appear to go on causing worry and fuss. That's for adults only, but not for us.
we think wedlock is just a deadlock or an obstacle course. That's for adults only, and so's divorce.
When you're over 16, life is so bewildering. So no wonder it's unsuitable for children. We're not raring to have a share in what the world is today. That's for adults only.
That's for adults only.
That's for adults only. And that's okay.